And last but definitely not least, the ambassador for dance music, the Radio 1 legend and an international megastar for more than 2 decades, it's Mr. Judge Jules.
I mean, I guess I'm lucky enough to be in a position where I am a sort of ambassador. I get the opportunity to champion records, and I take that very seriously in that so many people out there are making tracks, and it's not that easy to get your music exposed. There are literally thousands of different people finishing their project in a studio on any given week, and I'm one of the few sort of outlets that those individuals have got, particularly in my area of music. So I do take the responsibility very seriously. I listen to everything. It is very time consuming. It takes sort of 10 or 15 hours a week to listen to everything I receive, which is probably numbers about 300 or 400 tracks. And you have to kind of spread it out across the week. It's a bit like revising for exams when you're at school. You know, your attention span only lasts so long before every track sort of merges into another, and you can't kind of differentiate between the good ones and the mediocre. So it's an important responsibility. It takes a lot of time, and it's kind of what I would describe as DJ homework. In that, you know, a lot of people might see DJs as being on the radio, or in terms of hours, I probably spend a lot more time in the clubs. And that's kind of perceived to be glamorous. It's fun. I can, you know, drink a little bit on the job, be merry, sort of prance around, perform, etc. But the reality is that behind all that, there's a hell of a lot of homework and spade work involved. Some of which is quite boring, but ultimately it's your responsibility. Clubbing is it's the last bastion of an opportunity to go out and meet people you've never met before in a fairly safe, level playing field. And we're kind of encouraged to sort of to fear our neighbours. We don't live in the neighbourly society that probably existed in this country post-war. So clubbing is one of the last kind of blank canvases, level playing fields, to kind of mix my metaphors, for clubbers to go out and socialise together. That aspect of it hasn't changed. What has changed is a lot of the aspects of DJing. The fact that these days DJs are playing mainly off CD or off laptop, basically digital platforms. Whereas 5 or more years ago it was all about vinyl, and I would have been quite horrified if you told me 5 years ago that now I'd be playing digitally, but I am, and we're all doing that. The way that records are promoted is totally different. I used to get this huge postie sack full of vinyl promos every week, which my postman, when he wasn't stealing my mailers, was probably actually giving himself a lifelong back problem delivering to the house. And now it all comes through as web links. It's digitally distributed. So the internet stroke digital age has affected the way one does the job enormously, but the fundamentals of going out and kind of looking at each other across the dance floor and having that special moment on the dance floor has remained fairly constant throughout my career. I've been making records for pretty much the entire duration of my DJ career. The only difference is that more recently I decided to use my own name. Before that, they were very often done under nom de plumes. It was a combination of thinking maybe it's a bit boastful to put records out under your own name and wanting to do it in a slightly more understated way, but also being on the radio. There's a bit of a conflict of interest consideration when you are putting things out and saying this is the new one by me, sort of thing. But then everybody else started putting records out under their own names, and I thought, well, sod it. If you can't beat them, join them. Not the most important people on the scene are clubbers, obviously, and people being excited by DJs and going out. Ultimately, if you're between 18 and 25 in particular, but probably the same applies if you're a little bit older, to go out to a club on a Friday or a Saturday night, it's going to cost you 15 quid to get in, maybe 15 or 20 quid to get there, 15 to 30 quid behind the bar. You're talking a sort of £70 to £100 night, which is a big chunk of the disposable income of most people who go to clubs. So that's a big investment both in clubbing and for those individuals who are going to see me. That's a big investment in me, and it's very important to me to understand that I have to repay that investment. Understand that people are, you know, putting a lot of their hard-earned into you, and that is the lifeblood of what clubbing is all about.
Well, that's about it from us. Hope you've enjoyed the show. Check out undergroundtv.co.uk for details on our next programme.